Hey guys, Miranda here with Teambrandos Design. Okay, so I posted a rose gold cup in one of the Tumblr groups because I loved it. Plus, it started out a tragic fail. So because I tried spray painting it with just rose gold spray paint, and every time I put the epoxy on it, the rose gold like changed colors. I'll show you. So yeah, it may look pretty to the naked eye, but to someone who makes tumblers and to a lot of other people, you can see how the color changes. No, those are not dimples. Well, except for that one right there. But that is the color. It changed. Okay, so it got darker and lighter. And then on top of that, the paint, it smudged, like it mushed together, it bunched. It was really weird, and it really was frustrating because I redid the cup like 4 times, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys how I ended up finally getting it right and how I ended up making it work. So you're gonna need gold metallic Krylon, and the rose gold, Krylon Cover Max Rose Gold Metallic. You can get this, Michaels has it, and then the dual Super Bond Krylon Gold Metallic, okay? And here's how we're gonna do this. I did not prime it, okay? It's just a small little cup. I didn't prime it at all. I just sanded it down. And this is going to be a couple step process now. I sanded the cup down and, cleaned it with, rubbing alcohol. And so we're going to spray with rose gold metallic first. Lightly, guys. And let me tell you, spray it real far away because it does come off a lot. Like, there's a lot that comes out of this thing. I'm just using a small cup because it's not for anything specific. This is just for your guys' enjoyment and to know how I did this. So I'm just doing really quick spurts of it, round and round. So it looks like I'm putting a lot on, but I'm not. I've got this held about, I'd say about 18 inches away from the cup. So I've coated it where I can't see any more silver. And then I'm going to just spritz the gold. Okay? Just spritzing it. Not doing like normal coating or anything like that. I just want the gold to be on there. Now, here's the problem I ran into if you just go straight to epoxy from here, which we are not going to do. I'm going to show you guys a nice little hack. It is called the Dollar Tree eyeshadow hack. We're going to make our own mica powder, our own pigment powder, whatever you want to call it, out of Dollar Tree eyeshadow. Yep, Dollar Tree eyeshadow. I'm a cheapskate. Y'all know that. We've talked about that. I'm a cheapskate, and I can't see paying $5, $6 for this tiny little thing of powder, or even the Pearl X powder. It's expensive. It's ridiculous. It's like $6 on Amazon, and then it's like a whole bunch more than that at Michaels and Hobby Lobby, even with coupons. It's still ridiculous, and I don't see I don't see a point in spending that much money on something that I don't know when I'll use. And so I Dollar Tree hacked it. And so I'm going to show you guys right now what you're going to need to do this. But I promise you, when you're done, you're going to go out and buy a whole bunch of eyeshadow. Because this is what the cup looks like once it's done. It is beautiful, guys. Like, it is beautiful. So that's what we're going to end up with. So when you go to Dollar Tree, they have these little loose shimmery eyeshadows, right? I'm using the Radiant Gold one and Lollipop. Okay, those are the two that I got. And then they have these cool little things. Also at Dollar Tree. So I ended up spending $3 there. And then you're going to need your little stir stick thingies. And you'll need your epoxy. And if you use measuring cups, cool. I use 2 pinch cups. And I got these at Joann's. And then of course you'll need your epoxy. I use my Pro Marine. Love it. Won't use anything else. The link is at the end of this video. And the link is also in the description. So let's recap real quick. And then I'm going to let this paint dry on this cup. And then we'll come back and we'll epoxy it. You need your cup. You can use just like a pink base coat. I did that on that one over there. And I've also used the rose gold. So it's up to you guys. You can use a pink base coat. If you do use a pink base coat, use a gloss. Or I'm sorry, a matte. Just because that way it doesn't like, I don't know, it does something funky. Anyways, so a matte pink or metallic rose gold Krylon. You're going to need Krylon Dual Super Bond Gold Metallic because it comes out like a glitter, not like a metal metallic. And then you're going to need your Lollipop LA Colors from Dollar Tree, your Radiant Loose Eyeshadow from Dollar Tree, something to mix them in, and your stir stick, and then your epoxy. And also, I always have on hand my matte finish because I am going to spray matte finish over this cup before I put epoxy on it because that way the metallic color doesn't slide. So, I'm going to let this dry and then we will be back. Alright guys, we are back and we're going to now see how to make your pigments, your mica powder, whatever you want to call them, with eyeshadow. Yep, eyeshadow. As I said before, I got these from Dollar Tree for $1 a piece. I have Radiant and I have Lollipop. And this is what it turned out like. It's very beautiful. It's exactly the color I wanted it. I'm absolutely in love with it and I don't want to let it go now, but it has to its new home. Now, let me show you. When I painted this, I showed you guys the colors that I used. I used the Krylon Rose Gold, and I also used the Krylon Gold Metallic. Now, when I painted my first 3 that I stripped, I used a base, a primer, and then there was also one where I didn't use a primer, and then there was one where I used the primer and just the rose gold, and then there was one where I used the primer and rose gold and the gold metallic, and then there was one where I didn't use a primer at all for both of those. So I've stripped 4 cups before I finally got to that. Now, one of them ended up like this. It looks copper. Now, this is not the color I wanted. I did not want it to look like it was a bunch of different colors. Because if you look at it, it looks like there's bumps right there, okay? Those are not bumps. Those are discoloration. It's not bumpy, it's smooth, okay? That's all discolored. Like, it's horrible. I hate it. And it's not what I wanted. It's much darker than I thought it was gonna be, and it looks bad. And there's no way in the world I would let this go out. So, I had to come up with another plan. I wasn't sure what it was. till I was walking through Walmart with my nieces the other day because they needed to get out of the house, and I, mosquito eater. So we're walking through Walmart, and I stopped in the makeup aisle because I needed makeup. Sorry. I need to, woo, set that up. I needed makeup, and I saw this really beautiful rose gold eyeshadow, and I was like, I wonder. So I didn't buy it because it was like $5, $6, you know? And so I was like, no, I'm not gonna get it. I might as well just buy pigment powder. And then I thought about it when I got home, and I was like, well, I know I've seen like the loose eyeshadow at Dollar Tree. So we went to Dollar Tree, and I got the pink and the gold because I wanted it more pinkish than copper. Okay, I wanted it to have a pink shimmer to it in a way. So I got these two, and what I did was I mixed them together, and this is actually the color that it came out when I mixed the colors together, but I'm gonna do it here with you guys so you see how I do it. All right, so what I did was I just, because this has like this little, it's really small opening at the bottom, and so I just went like this, and I just tapped it. To get all of it out. Because there's a lot in there, but you can't, it doesn't all want to come out at the same time. And so I just put it in its own separate container, and then I'm going to do the same thing for this one, and then we're going to get a third one, and that way if I want a pink or if I want a gold, you know, I don't have them already mixed. Like, they don't have to be mixed. And plus, if they're in these little containers, it's easier, because I tried to do it at first without putting them in the container first, and the first time it was rough because I kept having to like knock them and knock them and knock them, and it was getting all over the place, and it was like everywhere. It was horrible. And so I figure if we put these in there, and of course you can get, okay, as long as, and I did try it with regular eyeshadow that I just had here, some Maybelline stuff, and it was the pressed kind, but if you break that up, if you break it up just like with the end of a pencil or something like that, it turns to loose powder. All right, so I mean, that's obvious, because what happens when you break it? Like, if you drop it or whatever, it's gonna shatter and like go into a million pieces. So if you want to use you know, eyeshadow you already have at home, if you have a bunch of colors, like, I don't wear makeup very often. I'll wear powder and like some mascara and eyeliner, and that's about it. I'm just not, you know, I went through those stages, guys. I did. When I was getting clean, or when I first got clean, I didn't know who I was. And so, like, I went like 6 months, and I had all these different color hair, and not like I do now with my little mermaid thing and my unicorn colors, but that's just fun because I feel like it. But I went through the stages of like all the different color makeup, and lots of makeup, no makeup, heels, no heels, boots, no boots, you know, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, oh, sorry, my dog heard her name. My dog's name is Boots. So, come here, baby. You say hi? Hello. Yeah, you're a good girl. That's Boots. That's my baby. She is seen in my how to strip a cup. She's a good girl. And she likes to lay in here with me. Anyways, sorry, started rambling again. I know you guys love it. Like, I swear these videos would probably be half as long if I didn't sit and just ramble. But that's okay, because that's me, and I like doing it. So, Like I said earlier, I got a pack of 8 of these. They're little containers and they have little lids. And that's what we're using right now. And then I've got my Dollar Tree eyeshadow, and I have a little spoon thing, little measuring spoon. And I have stirring sticks. And I have a third one so that I can mix the colors together to get the color I want. And I have 2 different pinch cups. One is going to be to mix the powder into a small amount of epoxy, and the other one's going to mix the regular amount of epoxy. And then we've got our cup with our base coat. Now, I have not tried it without a base coat, okay? And I feel like if you do it just a gold color, it would, and just add more pink than gold powder, then it would probably come out just as good. But I have the rose gold, so I might as well use it, because I definitely know I can't just paint the rose gold on there and put epoxy, because if so, then we end up with the wavy looking colors and it's ridiculous. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our eyeshadow, and y'all can start, you can go from here, you can be doing different colors, whatever. All I'm doing right now is showing you guys that eyeshadow, loose eyeshadow, okay? Don't get the kind that has like the liquid primer already in it, or the crayon kind. I haven't used any of those, and I definitely would advise against the kind that is like, has any kind of moisture in it, because the moisture is not going to mix right with the epoxy, and the likelihood of your epoxy ending up sticky when it should be dry and cured is high. So we're not going to use that. Maybe one day I'll use it just to see what happens and see if I'm correct, but my assumption is that I would never do it. So what we're going to do is, I want more pink than gold, because I've got this awesome color, the color I wanted it to turn right here. Very rosy, but goldish too. This one, I want to have more of a rosy color. And that's another thing about using this, is that you can make it however you want it. You can make it golder, or you can make it pinker, or you can make it 27,000 different colors, whatever y'all want. But all I'm going to do is, I'm just going to take a little bit here, I mean very little bit, and I'm going to put it in here. A little bit more maybe. So maybe this is a 1/4 teaspoon, probably whatever half of a quarter is. I have no idea, because I am horrible at math. Somehow I can manage to do our finances, save money, and run a business. I can do that kind of math, but as far as like, yeah, normal like fractions and stuff, my kids have to ask somebody else, because I don't know. And it sucks sometimes, but it is what it is. Okay, so I have just a small amount, and then I'm gonna take my pink, and I'm gonna put more in there. Like, I'm gonna do probably a good 1/4 teaspoon. Now, once you're done mixing these, you can save it, because you're not gonna use all of this, I promise. It's not gonna happen. And we're just gonna go like this, and we're gonna just kind of use our stir stick to mix it together. Get that mix going, and then I'm gonna put my cap on it here, pop it on there, and I'm gonna shake it. Just make sure that it's good and mixed in there. Now you can see how much more pink this one is than this one, and that's how I wanted it. So we got that going. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and cap these other 2 and set them aside. Now when you get it mixing with your epoxy, the color is not going to necessarily be this. Okay, so if you want to have these handy, just in case you want to add some more in there, you can. Now, with this, it kind of goes the same way as I say with the epoxy on the cups, and that is less is more. Because if you put too much in the epoxy, then it clumps, and you don't want it to clump. So, here's how we're going to do this. I got my Pro Marine here, okay? Pro Marine A, B, okay? And I'm going to take 1 squirt of, which one is that? A. And I'm going to take 1 squirt of B. Okay? And then I'm also going to take my other cup and I'm going to put another squirt of each. Because I don't need a whole lot. And so, you know. Then we're going to take our stir stick and we're going to stir one of them. Either one, whichever one you want to stir. Actually, you're going to stir both. I'm sorry. You're going to stir both of them. But this one I'm going to set to the side. Okay, and I'm going to come back to it. I'm going to stir this one as well to get the A and the B mixed together. Okay. And then I am going to take my powder and I just ruined my stir. Oh yeah, glitter container, old glitter container, great for your little stir sticks because, you know, that way they're not getting glitter and crap all over them while they're sitting out, and they're nice and clean, each one. I'm gonna take my stir stick and I'm gonna put like this. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of like shake it on there. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stir. Okay, get it stirring. Make sure you don't have any clumps. Make sure you get all of the powder from off the side and get it all stirred in there. And once you don't see any more, like any clumps, you can add more. So I'm gonna add more because, like I said, I want it to be really pink with just like a hint of gold. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. Like, there's really not a whole lot you're adding. Okay, and I'm gonna stir it. Again, getting all of it off the sides. All right, throwing my stick away. Here's what we've got. Woo! Sorry about that, guys. But here's what we've got. What a beautiful color, right? Okay, now, I suggest if you want it to be real dark, you're going to put more in here. Like, if you want it to look this color, then you're gonna want to put a little bit extra, because once you put it in this epoxy, then you're gonna have more sorry, I'm drawing a blank here on what that word would be. You're gonna have more of the clear going into the dark, so it's going to lighten it. I'm sorry, I'm like mind blanking here. So let's say we want it darker. we'll go ahead and add one more little bit of our color, okay? I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. Kind of mad at myself because I swear I think I spent like $30 on different colors of rose gold trying to get it to go. And I think what happened was the metallic color in it, whenever it hits that epoxy, or whenever the epoxy heats it up like that, it just kind of like goes like that. That's the way I see it. Because that's what it felt like. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're just going to marry these together. And you're going to put all of it in there. Make sure you scrape all of it off the sides. You may end up with more than you need, but that's okay. Grab another cup, do some more, you know. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if you use these pinch cups, you're going to want to have a specific one that you use for the metallic colors like this, because unless you like get it really clean, like I mean really clean, which by the way, you guys ask me all the time how I clean my epoxy off the silicone. Bam, watch this. Bam. And out we go. All gone. Same thing with the silicone brushes, rubbing alcohol. That's it. So we're gonna close this up here. Close all this stuff. Get it all out of the way. And as we were doing that, this kind of just sat in there, okay? But now we're going to go ahead and mix it. All right, and this is where, you know, your epoxy sat for a few minutes while you were mixing the powder into your other epoxy, and so it cured the way it was supposed to. Now we've mixed it together and we're gonna heat it up. Okay, another thing. I had some of you guys ask me, and I've ran into the same issue where like just smooth cups like this that aren't glittered, the silicone brushes kind of sometimes make like a squeegee. That's what someone called it, and that's so true. It does. It makes like a squeegee. And so the way that I avoid that is I let my epoxy sit a little bit longer than I normally would. So if you use my $1 Million Shine epoxy method, add about 2.5 to 3 minutes on top of the amount of time that you're letting your epoxy sit before you put it on your cup. It's going to thicken. And if you're doing a 30-ounce cup, by the time you are smoothing out the entire thing, like one last round before you put it on your turner, it's gonna start to get like stuck, okay? And it's not gonna seem like there's enough. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, how did that happen? Because I really had a lot of epoxy and I just put it on my cup and it stuck. But all you do is take your heat gun and heat that epoxy up on your cup, and it's gonna start to get slick again. It's gonna start to get thin again. And so that's how you fix that. But point of all that was, I'm sorry, I kind of started rambling, was that I let my epoxy cure a little bit longer when I'm not putting glitter in it and when I'm not putting it on a glitter cup, because that way the thickness is not just sliding around on the cup. So I mixed it up really good. I heat it up. I'm gonna hit it with the heat gun one more time just to make sure all the bubbles are out of it. And I kind of want to show you guys like what this looks like while I'm doing this here. Hold on, I'm sorry. Woo! Close up. Can't see here. I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay. All right. It's such a pretty color. I am in love with it. In love with it. So, okay. Now, just like this. Kind of roll it around, and you're gonna get a really good view of what the color is, and it's beautiful. Just gonna say it, it's beautiful. And I'm gonna take my silicone brush, and we're going to put it on. Okay? And if you can see it, like, it's not sliding around super quick because I let it thicken. But I'm just, you know, brushing it on here. Sometimes it starts to fall into inside of the cup, and I just kind of grab it and roll it around, and then later I'll use acetone whenever the cup's all dry to get the inside off, or even some of the a lot of the time, honestly, the cup or the epoxy is dry enough and it's thick enough and it's hard enough that I just kind of take an X-Acto knife and cut it off, and it works. Anyways, I'm just brushing it on here. And guys, I will make sure that in the comments I put a link for the silicone brush if y'all don't have them, a link for the pinch cups, as well as a link for the epoxy. If you guys don't have Pro Marine, get it. It's amazing. I love it. I wouldn't do anything without it. I will never use any other kind. And in the comments is my link along with a coupon code. Get 10% off. Make sure you go and join their Facebook group. And they're on Instagram. And if you follow them on Instagram, they have like monthly photo contests, and you guys can post photos of your work that you use with Pro Marine and hashtag them in it. And oh my gosh, you can win 2 gallons, a 2-gallon thing. So you got 2 gallons of A and 2 gallons of B. So worth it. It's just, I love this stuff. I love it. It doesn't yellow, it doesn't turn, it's just beautiful, and oh, I don't know, sorry. I'm the type of person that, like, unless I have seen for my own eyes and I have used with my own hands a certain product, I'm not going to rave about it. I'm not going to refer people to use it. I'm not going to do that. If I've used it and I love it, why not share it with everybody else? That's my thought. Alright, so let's see what we've got going already here. Look at that. Oh my god. So pretty, guys. Like, look at that shimmer and shine and that pink. It's just wow. It's wow. It's amazing. And guess what, guys? We just did that with Dollar Tree eyeshadow. Can you believe it? Dollar Tree eyeshadow, everyone. Dollar Tree eyeshadow. Telling you guys, if you ever want to figure out a way to do something for super duper cheap, ask me. Because I am going to toot my own horn. I am the queen of budget, of cheap, like, I'm not a cheapskate, okay? That's not it. Like, I'm not mean about it. I'm not someone who's not going to buy something from you or whatever else. I just want to make the most of my profit. So if I can do things for cheap and still make, now here's my key. If I can do it cheap and still get a quality product, okay? If you guys are trying to build a business, quality is everything. You don't have to put your prices at $25. Sorry if you guys do. That's your own deal. That's fine. I make 100% of profit, and I am pleased with that. And my customers are pleased. And I use quality product cups. I use Hog brand from the Stainless Steel Depot, or the stainlessdepot.com. I use Pro Marine Epoxy. I use Art Basic silicone brushes. I use good pinch bowls. I use, you know, I use good stuff. Don't get me wrong. But if there's a way to make it for cheaper, like the pigment powders. Now, you can't go cheap with epoxy. I'm sorry. If you try, it's going to be horrible. I promise you. But when it comes to like stuff like this, if there's a way to make it for cheaper, why not try? Why not give it a shot? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But stuff like this, it does. It's the same thing. It's just really fine powder. All they're doing is putting the resin, you know, it's resin pigments. Why can't anything be resin pigment? I mean, that's what they did, right? Was they made it a resin pigment by putting the name on it, by testing it, which is what we're doing right here. We're testing it. Now, I am going over this back and forth over and over and over and over again because I want to make sure that my color is completely even. Make sure that it hasn't like ran together. Make sure that there's no blemish in it or like chunk or something like that from the powder. And so I make sure I go over and over and over it, and then once I have done that and I am pleased with the consistency of the color, I'm going to go put it on my turner, and we're going to see what happens. Now, if when it's dry, you're not happy with the color, you want it to be darker, okay, just make another thing of this epoxy, same color, and go over it. Because I mean, if you're, you know, if you want to make alcohol ink darker on a cup, what do? You keep using the same color over and over and over again. And you go over it to make it darker. Just like with spray paint, you go over it to make it darker. So if it's not dark enough, whenever it's done curing, go back and put another coat on it. Make it darker. But I love it. Like, it's so pretty. What do you guys think? All right, guys, so we're going to put it on our turner, and I hope you guys have done this. I hope you're trying it. I hope you're running to your bathroom to find all your eyeshadows that you don't use anymore that are broken, because now you've got use for them. Why not use it instead of throwing it away and wasting it, right? So anyways, you guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you've enjoyed my DIY Dollar Tree hacks. And please make sure that you share with your friends, subscribe, and if you guys have any questions, you know where I'm at, you know how to get a hold of me, and I am totally available to answer questions if you guys have them. All right, I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you guys are excited, because I am. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.